The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
You guys are almost young enough to be my grandkids if I had any. Okay, we're going to be talking about American Indian music. You know, the Indians were the first people to be here in the United States before the white man came, so you're going to have to be good listeners because I got a lot to tell you, okay?
Are we going to do it too?
I'm afraid I can't. I would like to, but the thing is, I've blown on all these, and if you guys blow on them, that wouldn't be very good now, would it? You might catch germs and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going, this is going to be like a school class. Okay?
She's sneaking.
Okay.
Sneaking out.
We're going to talk about music, American Indian music. Please don't pull on that. You're going to have to skip back.
Hey, the only person that should be talking right now is the person that's standing up there. I want to hear I don't want to hear anything else from you guys.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth closed.
Oh, are we going to see it?
Be
quiet,
stop touching
it.
them. No, I'm sorry. I wish I could. But I can't because you put your mouth on them and blow through them, and then somebody else put their mouth on them. That isn't going to be very good. So we can't do that. Okay, so we
can wash them.
yeah, you can Okay. The American Indians had 3 basic instruments that they used. Okay? They used the drum, like that, rattle, and the flute. That's what these are. These are flutes. You guys all had a chance to look at those, didn't you?
No.
Okay, you don't touch, but you can just look at them and sit right back down. Okay? Okay, I'm going to be playing all of these.
Hey, Marty, what's my
Okay.
Touch them.
Okay, let's sit down. Let's sit down.
Sit down, everyone.
All right, everybody take a seat back. I'll step back.
I didn't get a chance to see how old my arm. Stop touching.
I don't know if this is going to work.
We're going to
I thought it
You're going to have to sit back from the table.
Hey guys,
At least this far back.
sit back as far as the rug. Come back behind the rug.
Yeah.
Liam,
Give me some
come back
room.
here. Even with the rug. There you go.
Okay.
Sit up.
What's
Come on, I can't tell. I can't even get started till you be quiet.
Hey, Brady, why don't you come back here and sit with
You're going to have to be quiet while I'm talking, but you're not going to be able to hear what I have to say.
up on a chair.
All right?
Back here.
Okay, the drum and the rattle were the very first instruments ever made by man. They were the first instruments to come into the world, ever be played. Okay? The first drum was probably like a hollow log, like you find out in the woods. And probably some guys got some sticks and started beating it, and they found out it made noise and they could make rhythms on it. And so that's how the drums was made. The first rattle was probably a gourd. Have you ever seen gourds in gardens or in maybe the supermarket? They usually have a great big bulb end on it and a tail on it. Well, the thing is, when they dry, the insides dry out, the seeds come loose, and when you shake them, they rattle. And so that's how the first rattle came to be. Later, Indians made rattles like this, which is a stick. This is hard leather, made out of leather, that's dried. And they would put like very small pebbles or pieces of glass beads in them or something, or dried corn, so they make noise. And I had a rat get into my house and it chewed up my rattle. So I had to go with what I got. But they make rhythms like that, okay?
Just like Marco and North.
The Indians made drums then like this.
That looks so real.
They call them frame drums because they're done on a frame like this, and then the hide is stretched over. They were this size. I've seen them as small as that, and I've seen them as big around as this and this tall. Anybody ever been to an Indian powwow?
No.
No? I have.
Indian powwow. No, you haven't.
Okay, a powwow is a gathering of the people. This is when the tribes get together and they celebrate special things. It's usually done maybe once or twice a year. No, they didn't have Christmas. They didn't know anything about that. But they, maybe like a baby was born into the tribe, or maybe a couple got married, or maybe a few of the boys were ready to be brought into manhood and had manhood ceremony. And they do things like that. And they beat the drum, and they sing, and they dance, and they have lots of food, and they play games, and they just have a high old time. But they would play the drum, and it would sound like this. This is the rhythm they beat. So very similar to that. Have you ever seen real old westerns on TV?
Yeah.
I bet you've heard this then. Right? No Indian tribe in the United States ever did that. That was a Hungarian rhythm that some people from Hollywood heard when they went over to Europe, and they plugged it into the movies. You go to any powwow, this is pretty much what you hear. And they'll sing. They'll sing when they'll meet men, and they'll sing. Men usually do the singing, not the women. Like that.
I want to use that.
The men usually do the singing at the powwows, and the women you stand behind them and they will sing with the men. And then now the rest of the tribe will dance in a circle, like this. They dance like that. Okay. The rattle is done the same way. I'm not a good singer, so you have to put up with me. But the rattle is the same way. Want to try it? Oh, you guys can sing better than that.
I don't want to sing.
Let it rip, just right from the belly, out. Okay, you guys did pretty good.
Do that.
Now, the first flutes,
What's tiny?
the oldest flute ever found was found in a cave in France, and it was probably about this size.
So you wait a cave? No.
And the thing is that when they dated it, they carbon dated it to find out how old it was. And found out that it dated back to about 2,000 to 2,500 years ago, was how old that flute was. Now the drum and the rattles go back even farther. They're older instruments than that. So that's how old they are. That goes back to biblical times. Back before Jesus was born. I'll show you how old that was, okay? Anybody want to tell me what I just said? I know you did. I'm talking about these guys up in the area.
Can you do it, please?
Yeah, I'm going to play them. This is my smallest one, and the smaller the flute, the higher pitched it is. Okay, so this is my little bird flute. It sounds real high pitched. Okay. You might recognize this song. I had to change it a little because my flute only has a certain amount of notes. And it goes up so high and it only goes down so high. So I had to do my own arrangement. I call this song Colors, and it is from the movie Pocahontas.
Oh.
And I based it on Colors of the Wind. Okay? So I'm going to play it.
play the taller ones?
Well, we'll get to all of them eventually. Now, the Indians had to make their flutes to be able to play them, and the boys were the ones that made the flutes and played them. And the reason for that is another name they had for these Indian flutes was love flutes or courting flutes. Now, does anybody ever heard the term courting or know what it means?
No.
You never heard it? Courting is an old-fashioned term for dating. And the young men in the tribe would go out in the woods and they find the wood and they make their flute so that they could make their song up, and then they'd go court they'd play for their lady love who was in the wigwam or the teepee, and he'd play a song outside the teepee. And then if the lady liked it, she'd come out and join him for the day. But if she didn't like him, she could stay in the teepee and snub him, and the guy had to leave. That was just the way it was. But they had to make the flutes first. Now, they didn't have yardsticks or rulers, inches or centimeters. They had to have a way to be able to measure these, to be able to make them. Anybody want to make a guess on how they might have done it? Yeah. Okay.
They didn't have markers to read the numbers.
Well, they didn't know anything about numbers.
But they use a stick?
Well, he's right over there. They use their body to measure. I'm using this one because it suits my body better. But they would take their stick that they find in the woods, they put it under their arm, and they cut it to length, the length of their arm, like that. For the first hole here was 1 hand length. For this hole here, they put that hole in first. 1 hand width to the first finger hole. And then they used fingers the rest of the way down to put them in.
Is that a fret? Does it go frets?
That's how much.
No, that's a guitar. So anyway, that's how they got the length and put the holes in the flutes. Okay, so the young man made his flute up. He's been practicing, okay, and he's decided it's time to go woo his lady love. So he goes and stands in front of her teepee, and he plays his love song for her. And it sounds something like this. get there.
Wait, can we use the drums? The drum.
Well, the drum's over. I'm doing the flutes now. Okay, you saw some of the two smaller ones. These are my two largest ones. Now, remember when I told you the smaller, the higher pitched, the bigger, the lower pitched? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now these are about the same size.
But
Okay, now, how many think this one will be the lower pitched flute?
they're the same size.
How many think it's this one? Okay, we'll do this one first. This flute is very special. It's made out of a wood that's called American chestnut wood, and a friend of mine salvaged the wood from a house that was being torn down because American chestnut wood is not hardly around anymore. It's very, very rare. And he said the wood in this is 125 years old. Now the flute was just made last year. So the flute's not that old, but the wood is. Okay, now we'll play this one. Okay, let me try it again. I haven't played these larger ones for a while. It's pretty low. I still think this one's lower.
Yeah. I think it's not. No. Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yes?
I think
Okay.
it's louder. Me too.
It's softer. Okay, now I'll tell you why.
Try the one with some.
This is where the music comes out of, that little hole right here and here. See how much longer this is? The man who did this one found a way to shorten this tremendously. If this was made like this flute, it would be that much longer.
But it's not like.
And it's a lot bigger around. The larger around, this is called the bore. This is the bore. Now, the bigger the bore is, the deeper the flute. So that's why this one's deeper. All right, now we'll have some fun.
What?
These are called double flutes, or drone flutes, they're called.
How is that a double flute? You did double because it's two.
A double flute is because they have two bores, and they've got two mouthpieces. So I can play one side, or I can play both together, and it sounds like you're playing two flutes at the same time.
Play both sides.
Well, I'm going to get there. Okay. I gotta make sure this one's tied down. This one gives me trouble sometimes, so let me give it a quick check. This is called an A-frame for obvious reasons, because the bores are split apart and it looks like a big A. This one, on the other hand, is called a shotgun.
Shotgun.
It's called a shotgun flute,
Oh God.
because that's what it looks like.
A shotgun.
My husband likes to go to gun and knife shows, and sometimes I take that in my bag and I tell everybody I brought my shotgun with me. So, anyway. So, this one sounds a lot like that one. They're both the same key.
That's like the Mario song. Now, can you try the other one? The other one's shotgun.
Do we have a train track close around here?
No.
No, you sure? You sure I didn't hear a train? I would have
hear
sworn
one.
I heard a train out
I
there.
hear one too.
You hear a train?
Man, me too.
Yeah, but
Always
sounds
hear-
very
I know.
far away.
I always hear trains. Dang, that one's loud. That's not as loud.
on my phone over there that's in my purse. Okay, I didn't say, one thing I didn't explain about,
Liam, back up.
you know when I told you how they put the holes in and everything? Well, they gotta hollow the flute out too.
Liam.
And how they do that is they would cut it lengthwise. And they'd open it up like this, and then they would cut, they'd do the insides. They'd clean all the insides out, and then they would use, have any of you guys ever gotten into tree sap?
No. What is that?
Tree sap, that gooey stuff that comes out of pine trees.
Oh.
It's real, you've done it.
I actually found a bug inside of some tree sap once.
Oh yeah, you can find a lot of stuff. Well, they took tree sap, because that was the only type of glue they had. They couldn't go to the store and buy glue, the Indians back then, so they had to go out in the woods and find the natural counterpart, which was tree sap. And so they would use that tree resin, and they would put the two halves back together, and then they would take the ties off of the flutes. And the flutes back then were tied here and here and sometimes in the middle. They would soak these in water, tie them down as tight as they can, and then put it out in the sun, and they'd dry and they'd get tight, and then it tightened down that flute. So that's how they get the bore inside. Today, they use modern boring tools. They just put it on the lathe and go, and it's there. So.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, well, I guess we're about out of time. Oh, yeah. This is one of my favorite flutes. Oh, you guys wanted to hear something peppy, right?
Yes.
Okay. You guys want to dance?
No. Yes. Okay, I always have trouble finding the starting point on that song.
Is that Jeremiah with the bow phone?
Yeah. themselves? I started when I was about your guys' age.
6?
Well, a little older than that. I was in 4th grade.
Yeah, 'cause those, how many of you have had a 4th
Junior
grade
9?
flute or recorder? Anybody got in 4th grade yet? They
Well, when I started
Hey,
playing
3rd grade.
clarinet.
No,
okay.
in 3rd grade, I still get those.
Okay.
3rd grade, you get those.
And the thing is, I played clarinet clean through high school.
High school?
And so then I started going to powwows, and there was a flute vendor there, and that's where I bought my first flute from. And it grew from there.
My brother Jacob was in high school.
Oh, okay.
But one day, he was in a different place. He was only, he was in I didn't know what to do. He did this.
about anything on flutes. You can play rock and roll, you can play country western, you can play gospel,
Are you an Indian?
classic. There's a possibility. I don't know for sure. What I am wearing is called a woodland Indian. And,
That's a dress. You feel?
well, kinda. It's a skirt and a blouse. But this is called woodland Indian dress. And this is what they would wear. Matter of fact, I didn't even know I was wearing regalia. I found the skirt and I bought it, and I had the blouse for years, and they just went together. And I started wearing a powwow, and some of the Indians who danced came up and said they liked my regalia. I go, I'm wearing regalia. So anyway, I was kind of surprised.
Anybody notice anything different about her shoes?
Moccasin.
They're golden. Where the little heel part?
These are moccasins.
Yeah, there's no little heel part, you're right. Said, where's the little heel?
See,
Is that cowhide or
I think these are deer skin.
deerskin?
So made out of a deer.
The drum is made out of out of deer too. That's made out of white-tailed deer.
So they cut off the deer skin and start making.
Okay, you guys have
Yeah,
been
people
so
do that.
great. I made up something for you guys.
Made up something that I see.
Yes, I did. I'm gonna put them out here on the end of the table, and you can each have one.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you.
Don't.
Hold this one.
You know
These
what
are
it
little
is?
medicine bags.
Necklace. It's a necklace. Yeah.
Oh, wait, you put stuff in
Wow,
it.
what can
You
we
put
put in
stuff in it, you can tie it around your neck.
there?
You can untie
Let me
these.
tie that other shoe.
Everybody, I want everybody to get together and show me so I can take a picture. Okay?
Like this, and then you can tie it in a knot to any length
You
want,
made
so
all
you
these
can put it
in
around your neck.
My grandma
So you
Lauren,
put
she
it
taught
like
me
in a
how
knot.
to but I forgot.
Around your neck like that.
She's telling you what you
So,
do.
is that okay? Is that about the length you want? Or do you want to, okay.
That's very nice.
And then all our stuff gonna
Around your
fall.
neck. Will it fit? It's a little short.
Tiny little
There you
bag.
go. Okay, is this a bowl?
Nice.
Like that. Be careful,
some of
because
you
the
guys
beads
get
will
to-
slide off
I just
once
want to see
you.
it.
Boy,
Can some of you
that's
guys come
tight,
over
isn't
here
it?
and show me your, so I
Sorry
can
about
take a
that.
picture of you together? All right, step back.